So my name's Dave Lockwood. I'm with Remove It Pros Demolition, and basically this channel is the Remove It Pros Pure Entrepreneur. What this channel is we're talking about and taking you on our journey. We're opening up multiple locations. So what we do to run the location that we have right now is one thing. What it takes to start up these new locations it's a little bit different thing. The different thing is it won't be one of the three core of us running it. That's one thing. We will run it for a while. The other thing is we don't know how to market in a new marketplace and to get traction. So we have a really terrible thing going on right now, but a really cool thing. The area that we are going into is getting hit by a hurricane. We're probably getting hit by the hurricane too, at least the storm surge part of it. I'm in my house right now. We just moved me out of the house. About 80% of my furniture, we moved it yesterday. We sealed up my house. It has hurricane windows. We sealed it up because hurricane windows don't necessarily mean that if you have 4 foot of water around your house that it's going to keep the water out. So they don't seal up perfectly. So what we did is we went around and we sealed them up with spray foam. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Somebody made a comment on one of the videos, and I'm thankful to whoever you are. They said, well, it's not going to help you any because it's going to come up the pipes. And you know what? I think you're right. However, thank you for saying that. I'm going to go ahead and get some plumbing balloons, pump up balloons, and I'm gonna try to find my clean out outside. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find that or not. But if not, then I'm gonna take as I leave here tomorrow or later today, probably tomorrow, because this thing ain't gonna be here till Wednesday. Looks like it's moving really slow. These hurricanes, it's cool that we have all this technology, but these hurricanes they're coming for 5 and 6 and 7 and 10 days. It's not fun. I would rather know that they're coming and prepare the best that we can. Now we have quite a few properties that are on water, and water is when I came to Florida and haven't done as many real estate transactions as I've done in the past. The rarer something is, the more it's worth. Gold's worth more than copper. Silver's worth more than copper. Things that are rare are worth more money. Well, the thing about Gulf access water, when I say Gulf access, I mean water that takes you out to the ocean here, which is called the Gulf here, is worth more money. This house that I'm standing in is Gulf access. Not only is this Gulf access, but it has a lagoon behind it, and it has a pass within 500 feet, which makes it very valuable because, most people who are boating, they don't want to do 1 mile per hour through all these no-wake zones to get out to the water. They want to get up and go, which makes this even more rare. The downside of that is when there are high water events. Well, high water event meaning hurricane coming in, slow moving hurricane, pushes the storm surge. And when I bought this house, I had a pretty general knowledge of the area, and I knew that these houses had never flooded since 1964. Well, Hurricane Ian came in September 28, 2022. Guess what? He changed that. This house had 6 foot of water in it. So, all right, so we have another storm coming in. We just had a storm within 2 weeks, Hurricane Helene. Now, it pushed water across the whole island. It flooded the whole island. If you were in a low-lying area, if you were 1 foot lower in elevation than I am right here, your house flooded. I sat here and watched the water creep up my back walkway. And it got all the way up to the house, but it never came up the stoop. And the stoop is probably 6 inches. So it didn't get into the pool area, my next door neighbor who's lived, the one that's next door, I actually tore his house down after Hurricane Ian because it got damaged so bad. He's going to build up. His house, he said, he's been here since 1975. He said, never had any water above your pool, ever. So I had a lot of confidence in that. Well, the rules are changing. This global warming phenomena, and I'm having to accept the fact that that's probably it. I hope it's not it, but it probably is it. It's making these storms more ferocious. So if you talk to people around here, these storms have never been something that the storm surge is pushing across the island. Now, Charlie did that way back 15 or 20 years ago. It did push a lot of water across the island, and that was a long time ago. But okay, so let's talk about what's going on here. So my junk removal book is done. I went through it for the last time myself 2 days ago. Angie's reading it right now. Logan's going to read it. Going to go through it one more time, make sure, looking for typos. I went back to the editor and said, hey, I went through it again, and I want you to go back through it one more time because I found a lot of typos and stuff like that, and I found some formatting errors. So they're working on that. The channel itself is doing very well. Because of this hurricane coming in, and this is one of our buckets. And what a bucket is, if you're part of the channel Jumpstart program, what a bucket is it is it's a group of interested stuff, things that are similar. Like one of my buckets is scrap metal for my channel. One of my buckets is demolishing houses. The other one's demolishing big things. The other one would be storms when it relates to Fort Myers Beach. So this channel that I'm on right now, we were at 33,100 views yesterday. We're at subscribers. We're at 34,500 subscribers today. So what's the difference? What happened there is I posted 4 videos yesterday. We're at 99,984,999 views. We're getting 256,000 views in the last 48 hours. That's up about 50,000 since I started posting yesterday. Right now, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. There is 8,700 people online that are watching our content right now, which is freaking awesome. So what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a blow-by-blow or the step-by-step of what's going on and getting prepared for Milton. There was a 3 o'clock mandatory evacuation off of the island here. What that means is they want you off the island. They don't want to have to come rescue you, okay? I'm not one of the guys you got to come rescue, okay? But I am going to leave as soon as the storm starts. I'm not going to stay here because they're anticipating 5 to 10 feet. Well, Angie, my wife, is going to stay with me no matter what, so that means I'm going to leave. But what I am doing is they'll close the island off and they won't let you back on. So I planned for this. I planned for this years ago. I have wave runner docks over at my property in Bonita, which is a old Girl Scout fish camp, and I have wave runner docks out here. So I moved my wave runners over there. So they're over there for me. So once we leave the island, they won't let me back on, but I can come by boat, and they're not going to do nothing about it. So, or at least they haven't in the past. So that's what's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is when the storm actually starts hitting, I'm going to film up to the point where I feel uncomfortable, and then we're going to take all this computer stuff, load it into the vehicles, and we're going to bust a move. I have an Airbnb property, what happens when the storms come in, your Airbnb or your, I hate using that term because Airbnb sounds like it's like a cuss word anymore. They're basically short-term rentals. We actually rent stuff through all the platforms, so they're not just Airbnbs. So basically, I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to film as soon as the hurricane's over with. The other thing I'm going to do is the minute that the hurricane's over with, like 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to bust a move down here from Bonita in my truck before they can close the island off. That way I can have my truck down here and can use it for filming. So the cool thing about my truck is it has a built-in generator into the truck. It's something that'll allow me to keep charged up and be able to film. And then I'm just going to film what happens. Now, we're in the demolition business, so most likely, it's highly likely, based on what I'm watching on the news here, that this house is going to get trashed, which sucks because I just remodeled it, you know, after Hurricane Ian. It's Hurricane Ian has been September 28th of this year would have been the 2-year anniversary. So that's 2 years and 10 days. And here we are. This is 5 times that we've gotten hit by things that have flooded this island. So let's go back to the channel. So now what I'm doing now is we're going to put ads out to pick up more labor. We're already, Siesta Key got slammed. Those are our kind of people. Those are high-end people who want people to come in and do the demo and not make a big mess and not create more work for the contractors and damage stuff that's there. And people who are seasoned and who have the tools, who are going to show up and stay on the job until it's done, so on and so forth. That's who we are. We're going to have trust in these areas when they look us up, if they know about us, because they're going to look at our Google reviews and say, wow, how come they got all those Google reviews and everybody else has like 20? So if you don't know anybody and you want to make sure that it's done right, that means a lot. Let's see what else I'm going to talk about. So yesterday I put up a camera. It's a time-lapse camera. It'll run for 100 days at the lowest setting. But we set it up so at a 2-minute interval, it'll take a picture every 2 minutes. So it should last for, several weeks. And we put it up by the Lani Kai. There was a viral video that went off after Hurricane Ian where they had this camera set up, and this is in the same parking lot that camera was set up, and it showed this house being lifted and destroyed by the hurricane, and there were 2 people in it and their 4 dogs. And there's a story, and there's actually a movie on Amazon where these people basically, they're floating around the water with their dogs trying not to die. They literally got swept all the way across Estero Boulevard, across the parking lots, and then there's a canal. They got swept across that. He ended up in one house. She ended up in another house. She ended up in a raised house. He was in a raised house too. He had to break in. There were people in this one, so they didn't know that they were. They didn't know that each other were alive. As the storm calmed down and everything went down, they heard the dogs barking and they got reunited. It's kind of a cool story. You can rent it on Amazon. Okay, so now I set my house up so it's not going to flood. I think. I don't know. Okay, I sealed it up. It's sealed up 6 feet. One of the comments made was, well, it's not going to help you any because it's going to come up your sewers. And I'm pretty sure you're right. So what I'm going to do today sometime, I'm going to call my guys and I'm going to find out if they have these plumbing balls. I'm pretty sure they make them. I've heard of them. I've never used them. They use them to isolate things. They're balloons. They pump them up inside of the pipes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the toilets off and put them bulbs in there. And there's 4 drains in here. There's 2 shower drains and there's 4 sinks. And I'm going to put a ball in each one of them. And then hopefully that's going to give me the best chance possible that this house won't flood. If this house floods, probably just going to build up. If it doesn't flood, I'm thinking very seriously about lifting the whole house. If it doesn't flood, I'm going to go ahead and get it lifted. One of my friends did it. I just don't need this aggravation. I love living here. I don't want to move. Part of my life, my nirvana, is riding my bike on the beach. I have a big fat tire bike. I'm a big fat guy, and I like to ride up and down the beach. I love it. To me, there's nothing more fun than going to the airport and watching all the people. The only thing better than going to the airport and watching people is coming here and watching people. It is very interesting all the time. So, and then I get the sun, the boating, it's a neat lifestyle. I live on a resort island. It's very cool. Now, it's not a gated resort island. It's not exclusive. It's a bunch of hillbillies like myself who have become successful in one way or another, who all ended up here and have the same options. And we, it's a good life. It's something that growing up poor and without having anything, it was a dream for me. So it's my fantasy come true. All right, so that's it for today's vlog. This is vlog 101 again, if my numbers are right. And I just wanted to say we're going to be fine. I'm not going to do anything that's going to get me killed, and definitely not going to put Angie in harm's way. So we'll be off the island before this hurricane hits, and I'm going to film the heck out of it as much as I can while I can. So it's Remove It Pros Demolition. This is the Remove It Pros Pure Entrepreneur site. And tip for the day before we go. You live your life between your ears. This is me talking. If you are not happy, if you are not having a good life, stand back and look at what you're doing. Money doesn't solve all problems, but having options created by having the money to have the options, whether you're mega wealthy or just a little bit wealthy, is very important. If you're doing stuff that you hate to make money, and that's the majority of what you do every day, change it. Change it. The world needs more entrepreneurs. I have a way you can do that if you want to do that. We started with nothing with this junk removal thing. This junk removal thing works. My book on junk removal is going to be out here shortly. It's a shortcut. You can use it to walk into whatever you like, because we walked into the demolition business with it. We could have walked into anything else with it. So what happens is you're making money going, you're making money coming. So you just got to know the little inside secrets that I'm going to teach you. And so that's it. I'll see you on the next video.